This video is going to be about brush stroke practice, meaning we'll take a brush and practice different types of brush strokes that you can do using your paint and a brush. I have some acrylic paint here. It doesn't really matter what color you pick for brush stroke practice, and you don't need very much, just a little bit. And I'm even going to water it down with my water here because I don't want to waste my paint and use too much, because otherwise I might run out of paint for making a painting that I would like to make. Okay, so it's pretty watery, and as you can see, I am holding a flat brush, which is what I'm going to start off with. I've got my water in case I need to wash it off, and I've got some tissue here so that if I need to wipe off my brush or wipe up a spill, I can do that. If you feel like you might be a little bit messy, you can always put down some newspaper or something underneath your paper as well. Okay, my water is off of the screen, but you know that it's there. Okay, so when I have a flat brush, different kinds of brush strokes I can make. To start off with, if I hold my brush so that it's just angled down a little bit towards my paper, I can press the bristles down and pull to create a nice even stroke. I'll do that a couple of times. See, I have my brush angled down, press down, pull, lift up. Okay, another thing I can do with this type of brush is I can use just the little corner tip of the brush to paint with. So this time I'm going to turn the brush so that one of the points is facing down, and I'm not going to push my brush all the way down. I'm just going to touch it lightly to the paper and make smaller marks. See, since I'm not pushing all the way down, it's harder to get a flat, even stroke, but this can be useful for small details. Okay, another way of holding the brush is if I hold it at a 45-degree angle to the paper, and then after I press down, I make a curve. Let's see what happens. So 45-degree angle. If you're right-handed, you'll use the other hand. So I'll show it both ways. Okay, so 45, left-handed, press down, curve. Aha! It is thinner and thicker and then thinner. Okay, I'm going to do it the other way for everybody who is right-handed. Press down, 45-degree angle, and when I make a curve, notice that it's going to change in thickness. Okay, I'll do this again. Changing sides depending on what hand you use, right? 45-degree angle. Aha. Okay, now I'm going to try that 45-degree angle, but I'm going to do a wavy line. So once again, I keep it at that 45-degree angle. But now I move it back and forth like I'm making a bunch of S's. Interesting, right? Okay, other things that I can do with this brush, especially if your brush is a little bit splayed out at the end, you might be able to use just the tip and press down and get some interesting texture. I've been using this brush for a while, so I can get some more interesting texture on here because the bristles go out like this. Okay, or I can brush it like this, but just very lightly so that I just get some little scrapings of color. All right, so that is the flat brush. Now I'm going to change over. For anybody who is using this type of brush, now I'm going to show the brush with the pointed and the round brush. Getting a little more water and paint here. Okay, I'm going to start off the same way. Press down, pull, pick up. So it's just, my brush is angled down towards the paper a little bit. Press down, pull, pick up. Okay, now let's see what happens if I just use the tip of the brush. Notice I put my wrist all the way down because it's going to help me to balance it a little bit more. But don't worry if it's wiggly, that's all right. Just try using just the tip of the brush. Doesn't have to be totally straight. Okay, now let's see what happens when you push your brush down, but you move it to the side instead of pulling straight down. So I push down and move to the side. Aha, much wider. Press down, move to the side. I can do it the other way too, right? So if I'm right-handed, I can just do it the same way. Press down, move to the side. Okay, now I'm going to make some curves with just the point of the brush. So I keep it really thin, just at the point. If I go quicker, this is easier instead of trying to make it very exact. Okay, now I'm going to try to make it thinner and then thicker by going like this. Just the tip and then press down and pull. Just the tip, then press down and pull. So maybe you didn't know you could get so many kinds of brush strokes out of one brush. Okay, and I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to press all the way down first And then as I pull back, I'm going to lift my brush. That's a little trickier. Press down. And then as I pull back, I lift up and it gets skinnier. Press down, lift up. Okay, and then I can do things with this brush too, where I use just the tip to make a texture with little dots. You might also have this brush. If you do, you can try out a few things with this one as well. It's going to have a fuzzier end to it, so if you just press down, you'll get things like this. Or if you just brush straight, you're likely to get lines like this. Okay, and then I'll show one more type of line with this brush. If I kind of flick it up, I can get strokes like this. Okay, that's it.